Hello, students. I hope everyone is doing fine. So, today we'll be studying a topic of your English grammar section, that is conjunctions. What are conjunctions? Conjunctions are basically a word or a phrase that connects two sentences or two short phrases that gives a reason or that gives a condition or that explains time of something or even defines a subject sometimes. Okay, what is subordinating? Subordinating is a clause that cannot stand on its own. That means it does not give any context on its own, and it does not have any meaning on its own. So let's start. Okay. So definition. Subordinating conjunctions are those that introduces subordinate clauses and join them to the main clause. As I told you what a subordinate clause already is. Subordinate clause is a clause that has the subject, that has a verb, but that it does not have any meaning on its own and does not tell the whole context of the sentence or the whole idea. For example, although she was late for her exam, she completed her paper on time. Obviously, in this statement, you can clearly see that although is the conjunction given, and you're using the subordinate clause, that is, she was late for the exam. She was late for exam is the subordinating clause because it does not tell the whole idea of the context, the why she was late or something, or it does not give any condition, nor does it explain the time. So we use this as a subordinating clause, and the main clause is already mentioned in your presentation, although is the conjunction we are using to connect these two. Moving on. Classification of conjunctions. Okay. Classification of conjunctions basically means types of sentences in which different types of conjunctions are used. Number one, manner. In these sort of sentences, the sentence basically describes the behavior of something, a behavior of a subject, a behavior of an object, or even a behavior of verb. And whenever we are tackling with a sentence that deals with manner, we use as if. Okay. For example, my mother screamed as if she was in trouble. That means the subject whose behavior the sentence is monitoring is the mother, and as if is used to tell why. Second, moving on, time basically describe the situation, the time of an event or a situation. We use after, as soon as, before, by the time, every time, once. Whenever we are tackling a sentence dealing with time. For example, after she gives me a call, I leave for office. Moving on, third is the reason, the condition due to which something happens. The conjunctions we used whenever we are describing a reason in a sentence are although, because, even though, since, so that. Okay, whenever we're dealing with the reason sentences basically tell you why something happened. So for example, since, why something happens or why something happened, in all three of the tenses, past, present, future. So the example, since she is short, she stands at the beginning of the line. That tells you why does she stand at the beginning of the line, because she is short. Since is used to connect these both clauses. Okay. Condition. If something happens, whenever a sentence is described, we have to describe a condition, or to stimulate a reason behind why this is happening. So we use the following conjunctions: even if, in case, now that, until, unless. For example, if it rains, I will stay at home. Okay, the fifth one is place where the event happens. Whenever we are to describe a scenario in a setting, we use these two conjunctions where, wherever. For example, my brother was playing in the yard where he broke his leg. Here, the scenario is being explained that my brother was playing in the same yard, and what was the setting in the yard where he had broken his leg. Okay, here are some uh, exercise sentences so that you can, catch up to speed. Okay, the first one, dash the basement flooded. We spent all day cleaning. Since it is talking about it has a time-based scenario, we'll obviously use conjunctions that deal with time. We can clearly see after and before are two conjunctions. Since it's dealing with after the basement flooded, it's talking about the basement in the past tense, so we'll use after. Okay, moving on to the second one. I don't want to go to the movies dash I hate the smell of popcorn. That means why does the person not want to go to the movies? Because there is a reason that the person hates the smell of popcorn. So whenever we are telling a reason for something, we use because or although, whenever and so that have to be removed. So since this reason is straightforward, we use because. Okay, the third one, I paid Larry dash garden design work is top notch. That means we're paying Larry, and then we're describing Larry's quantities. Whenever we're describing a possession of someone, we use whose. So this is a very pretty straightforward answer for you guys. Whenever we're describing a possession of qualities for someone, we use whose. Okay, the fourth one, dash spring arrives, we have to be prepared for the show. Okay, so because until although now that, since we're describing a condition, we'll eliminate the other two and are only left with until and now that. So now that, this basically tells you when something has a condition and condition has already happened, and but until tells you that if this condition happens. So since spring has not arrived yet, it's talking in a future sort of way, so we'll use until. Dash the alarm goes off, I hit the snooze button. So this is basically straightforwardly telling time, so we'll eliminate because and now that. We'll focus on before and as soon as. Why do we choose as soon as? Because it's talking about the timing at when the alarm will go off. It's not talking about before or after. It's talking about the time, strictly the time at which the alarm will go off. So we'll use as soon as. Okay, that would be it for my presentation. I hope you guys learned somewhat, got into shape. And I hope you guys do well in your holidays. Groom yourself and focus on your weak points, focus on your English, and see you soon. Thank you.